Dozens of Democratic lawmakers have introduced legislation in response to the recent bank's collapse.
The bill would repeal part of a Trump-era bank regulation rollback. The bipartisan bill passed in 2018 eased Dodd-Frank financial regulations on Silicon Valley Bank and other mid-sized banks. Multiple Democratic senators, including Elizabeth Warren, have partly blamed the bank's collapse on this rollback.
CBS News' chief Washington correspondent, Major Garrett, joins us now. Hey there, Major. I'm wondering how more moderate members of both the Democratic and Republican Party are viewing possible banking legislation in response to the SVB collapse.
So one of the things you pointed out is this push by some Democrats to revamp or repeal that 2018 change in Dodd-Frank. And that was, as you mentioned, and it's really important, bipartisan. Why was it bipartisan? Because a lot of members of Congress, both sides of the aisle back then, were getting pressure from regional banks saying, you know what, we're smaller. And because we're smaller banks, we don't have the ability to go through all the regulatory procedures that bigger banks that can have larger accounting offices, larger compliance offices can. And so they're at an advantage, we're at a disadvantage, and we don't pose the same systemic risk to the economy that those very large banks do. So you should loosen some of the capital requirements under Dodd-Frank so we can actually function and serve our customers. In 2018, that was a persuasive argument. That's why it was bipartisan. Was it universally persuasive? No, but it was persuasive at the time. And the question for Congress now is, did Silicon Valley Bank mismanage itself? And would that mismanagement have led to the downfall of that bank, regardless of the Dodd-Frank legislation that was changed to fit its and other regional banks' needs in 2018? Congress is going to have to unspool that. Another thing that many members of Congress, Republican and Democrat, are talking about in the aftermath of this crisis is whether or not to enlarge the amount of FDIC insurance. Currently, it's $250,000 for every depositor. Do you make it $500,000? Do you make it universal? And if you do, what are the implications for banks in compliance with that? Those are the two big issues before Congress. But as we've learned today, there's instability across financial markets. This has now become a global story. And Congress, I think, will take a moment of time to decide what the implications of that are before wading in to rewriting legislation.
Major, we want to turn to the drone incident over the Black Sea. How are lawmakers in Washington responding?
Well, cautiously, because this could be an escalatory event. It could be an event that maybe 2 or 3 months from now, we circle on the calendar and say, whoa, that's where things changed. Or it may not. It may be part of the tension, the inevitable tension that occurs when a country like Russia invades a neighbor, Ukraine, and the United States and NATO and the European Union provide all kinds of indirect tactical support. One of the ways of providing that indirect tactical support is to conduct round-the-clock aerial surveillance, which is what this Reaper drone did. Reaper drone, by the way, costs about $56 million per copy. So that's a significant loss to the United States right there. It has to be retrieved if it can be. But we don't know what the actual long-term repercussions of this will be. It's the first event of its kind. There have been lots of new, never-before-seen events in this war in Ukraine, but this is the first one involving a significant piece of American military equipment. The Biden administration has obviously objected to it strongly, not trying to respond in kind militarily, but this does create even more tensions, not in the battlefield itself, but on the edges of it, where the United States and its surveillance drones operate.
All right. Hey, Major, I understand that on Red and Blue tonight you're speaking with Congressman Brendan Boyle about President Biden's budget. How close are Republicans to releasing a budget of their own, and what are you hoping to hear from the congressman?
Well, we don't know exactly how close congressional Republicans are to releasing their budget. There have been some on the far right side of the House Republican Conference who've put out some of their ideas about things to cut in terms of discretionary spending, not defense, but everything else, and not Social Security or Medicare. But that's not the unified position of House Republicans, and the burden for House Republicans is to produce their own document and put it alongside the president's budget. Now, Republicans have vociferously, and one might argue ritualistically, condemned the president's budget, which is fine. It's part of the process. But when you're the majority party in the House, you have to produce your own and take all the political heat that comes with it. And Republicans have yet to do that. And there are only descriptions about sometime late spring. What does that mean? April, May, who knows? But the president's budget is out there. The White House is defending it. Republicans are criticizing it. But until Republicans have the political courage to actually put their numbers in the clear light of day, this is a one-sided argument, and the White House has a budget document. House Republicans don't.
All right, Major Garrett. Major, thank you.
Sure.
And you can stream Red and Blue tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern right here on CBS News.